Hi everyone and welcome to Tosso Show. And today we're gonna play Higurashi When They Cry, the episode 3, which we'll see the exact name afterward because I keep forgetting the name of this one. So we're gonna get started. Tatarigoroshi, okay. The shortest scenario. Man, curse, or coincidence? Who are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether these conjectures will rather or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You'll probably not even be able to make conjectures. I cannot say that word. Conjectures. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick screenshot. So why I'm playing Tatarigoroshi is because I finished Watanagashi yesterday. I think I finished it yesterday. Or at least while I'm actually doing that let's play, that particular game preview, I did finish Watanagashi very recently. For people who wonder on Watanagashi, what happened is that, well, should I actually tell you? I don't want to spoil you guys and ladies, but overall, just to let you know, the second chapter is more like what we call a Mion chapter, because it's a lot about Mion, whereas the first one was more about Rena. So my assumption is that this one is more about somebody else, which is probably either Satoko or either Rika. The reality is that since I watched the anime, I know very well who it would be, but I don't want to tell you. We'll keep that a surprise. I know that the beginning of a game generally is not necessarily the most interesting because it always starts in such a slice of life way. But we'll see, maybe it will be more interesting here. The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had naught to do with what happened outside the well, and you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. Frederica Bernskansted. I'll try to pick up a picture quickly before I forget. AD 1983, the early summer of 58th year of the Showa era. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. Let's do a quick go back. Right. Oh, no, unfortunately with the text log we cannot see the date again. I don't remember the date, I said it, but I don't remember the date. Anyway, let me continue to read. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartments lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to rot, as well as bicycles and cars on the side of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. So right now it's talking about a bunch of houses somewhere. And apartments, but okay, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if it's Keiichi talking here, I don't know if it's somebody else, so we're probably gonna know pretty soon. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The lone motorcycle, which could not be called neat, even as flattery, pulled up to a two-story apartment complex and stopped there. A man, fairly old and wrinkled, stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out, Well, hello there. It's quite hot today again, isn't it? Oh, you got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here. Hehehe. Oh, right, landlord. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said. Ah, sorry. The fluorescent lights, right? I completely forgot. Hehehe. No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning. Wait, what's this? It reeks. Did the sewer get backed up again? Do something about it, landlord. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long. Hehehe. You'll still look pretty lovely plunging your nose, my dear. Hehehe. There was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth got caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime. Could you tell the municipal office about it? The drain will end up buried at this rate. Well, yikes! It's completely blocked. Hey, I'll start back up. It will start back up if you poke it with a stick. The man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. He must have planned to stick it into the drain and clear it out. Ah, wait, landlord, stop that! If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it will smell terrible. It smells if it's clogged, and smells if it's mixed. Which should I choose? He shoved the drying pole into the filth in the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste. Gah! It's a dead cat. This is the health center's job. Cats and dogs smells awful when they die. A bamboo pole's not going to do much good. Garbage can or clothes, they throw all kind of stuff in there. And is that a duck I see? Well, of course it stings. The nerve of some people! The drainage channel was already unsanitary. What was a little more garbage at this point? It's interesting so far because it's not related to anyone as far as I'm aware compared to the other games, but I'm sure it will come back to our main characters afterwards, I assume. But in any case, let's continue. The stream of such imprudent people was never-ending, and now this channel has turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. The two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. Gah! We got maggot, eh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in. What? Landlord! What's that? What? Just more garbage? Landlord, that's... Eh? Eek! I'm sure you wouldn't do that. I guess it's... Ah! Or something like that. Ah! Anyway. It seems like the police coming in. Oh, hello! Good work today. Ah, quite a terrible stench. Hey! Someone come at this thing with a tarp. It's in plain sight of the 2-floor houses. Identity of the deceased unknown. Sex female. Age estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death about 2 or 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death. Naked too? Figuring out who she is will be rough. Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing. They probably weighted her down so she would sink. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. But why in a drainage shower of all things? Would have been better under an overpass or in the mountains, you know. And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all. Did they do it so she would be found? As a warning? Or something? This slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do this sort of traditional punishments? Ask Shige-san in section 4 if he's had any trouble with Yakuza. On it, sir. Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her hair nuts poking out like that looks sort of like the salad soba you can get in Kyoto? Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodle would pop out, see? Ugh. Please, give me a break. Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose cut off. Ugh. That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a bad state too. There are long nails stuck in all of them on both hands. What kind of torture was this anyway? Higurashi When The Cry. Okay, this time it starts with a scene where we see a murder straight off the bat. Well, not see a murder, but see a crime scene, I guess. And we're back in school. Well, we're back in school. We're going to a school. It's funny because yesterday I also tried to do a video of Tell Me Why as a game preview, but I don't know, I wasn't in my best form and I have the impression that my game preview was really crappy. I'm probably gonna have to either redo it or either just apologize for the crappiness of it, and it's kind of sad because Tell Me Why seems to be a really good game. Anyway, I'll probably try to do multiple videos of Tell Me Why, which is a Don't Nod entertainment game. But we're not here for talking about Tell Me Why, so let's go back into Higurashi. The most relaxing time during the school day? Lunch, for sure. Everyone brought their desk side by side like always, and we all ate together. Oh my! Mion-san, if I may say, your lunch looked quite appetizing today. There are so many different things, it's wonderful. Satoko and Rika-chan look at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Let's have a look. Whoa! I just packed in some leftovers from last night. All the elders were having a drinking party at my house yesterday. I managed to nab some of what they didn't eat. Haha! So that's why you look all snacks? They all look like snacks you could have with sake. They're but leftovers, mere scraps of food, but when arranged in bento box so cleanly, they look impressive. It looks like part of a full-course meal at a higher-class restaurant. People seem to decide if they like things mainly based on their first impression, so I thought maybe the taste of a bento would be proportional to how pretty it was when you opened it. You may seem unrefined, Mion-san, but you are positively splendid at arranging food like this. Her room is nice and tidy too. Mii-chan is a lot more organized and polite than everyone thinks. It's all the same once it's in your stomach. I'd have thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she has this kind of taste. You can't judge a book by its cover. You can't just... oh my goodness, I cannot say that. You can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. Does she fall? Sorry, it's funny because it's a little bit of a moment that reminisces something from the previous episode. But anywho, I see. She's our club president after all. Yours is nothing to scoff at either, Rena. Your crab kamaboko flower is very pretty. You know, Rena, your lunch always has, like, an art to it. Like, it has rabbit-shaped apple slices and carrot flowers and stuff. Rena's bentos wasn't all about taste. It was like, like she always puts her heart into it or something. It wasn't just good, it made your insides all nice and warm. Haha, thanks. It's not quite as good as Mii-chan's, but I wanted to make it really cute. Ow! Cooking isn't about skills, it's about love. In that sense, I don't even come up to your feet. Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Rina put her heart and soul into making it. That's what a bento was like. This taste isn't all that counts for a bento. How it looks also matters. I suppose we must learn from this too. Huh. So, let's see Satoko's and Rika-chan's up and coming bento. Whoa! Ta-da! Wahahaha! Yesterday our neighbor shared some meat with us, so we ended up grilling it for our bento. This one too. They had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance, it was too impactful for a girl's bento, but when you thought about eating with all your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table. Wow! At first it looks like the kind of crude bento that a jog could eat, but there are so many different things in here, like boiled spinach in soy sauce and stewed hijiki. I don't know what hijiki is. What is hijiki? Let's double check on the web super quickly before I continue. So hijiki. Hijiki is a brown sea vegetable growing wild on rocky coastlines around Japan, Korea and China. Hijiki has been a part of the Japanese diet for centuries. It is rich in dietary fiber and essential minerals such as calcium, iron and magnesium. According to Japanese folklore, hikiji heads health and beauty, and thick black lustrous hair is connected to regular consumption of small amounts. Hijiki has been sold in United Kingdom natural products stores for 30 years, and its culinary uses have been adopted in North America. Interesting, I never heard of this. So it's a brown sea vegetable. Interesting. Rika-chan, you're really good at this kind of unaffected cooking, huh? Yep, I think Rika-chan will make a great wife when she grows up. I have a tight hold on my future husband. A husband for Rika-chan, huh? At first, that sounded appealing. It did, but I felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal. But really, everyone was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. I agree with that too. I could only really cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. I do respect that too, because cooking is not that easy, you know. It takes a long time. It's not necessarily hard, but it's just takes time. But then, it's very rewarding, so, you know. Anyhow, let's continue. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people. Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once. What? What's wrong? Wrong? You'll make a stroke if you shot like that so suddenly, you know. There's rice coming out of your nose, Satoko. I'd forgotten. All this stuff about cooking for yourself. It applied to me too. What does that mean? Keiichi, your mom and dad need to go to Tokyo again for business. Yeah? Oh. Sleepy. Your dad's mentor fell ill right before an event he was taking part in. It's a very important event, and they need someone to fill in. Well, Dad does what he has to do for his job. Choo choo. So, your dad and I, you see, we need to go to Tokyo as fast as we can to help with the event. We might have to stay there for a few days depending on what happens. That sounds annoying. Oh. While we're gone, we won't be here, so you'll need to make your own meals yourself. Are you okay with that, Keiichi? I'll be fine. Humans can do anything when they're desperate. Is that so? That's a relief. You can at least cook rice, right? And you can make miso soup as well. Then, you just buy some side dishes and you'll have a meal. A meal? Yeah, I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. Choo choo. Sorry. His yelling make me yawn. Alright. I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot of boiling water too. Well, I'll think of something. If you can cook for yourself, then you don't need much money, do you? No eating out, it's too expensive. You're at the age where you should learn about cooking and personal finances now, after all. Yep, I'll get by. No, I won't! What was I thinking? I was half asleep and I made such crazy empty promises. Just like manga characters always do at times like these, I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Screech scratch! Yeah, I was personally half asleep too when I did that tell me why videos. That may be why it's... anyway. Keiichi-kun, your parents sure have it rough. Anyway, you need to keep things in order while we're gone. Anyway, food! My parents aren't here. I have to make it all myself, you know. This is a huge emergency. Should you not simply give up and cook for yourself? Keiichi-san, did you not make a fabulous curry dish for the curry party previously? Listen here. My mom taught me how to cook that curry when we camped, and it's the best I can do. I can't eat curry 3 meals a day. I mean, it's just junk food in the first place. There's no nutritional balance whatsoever, and it's just completely oof. So if you play the previous episode, you will see that the teacher is a big curry fan. So she's probably the one that will say something nasty to Keiichi right now. Stupid! Shh! Mion and Satoko put their hands over my mouth. A moment later, the door rattled open, and Chie-sensei, a known curry maniac, suddenly poked her head in. Did I just hear somebody bad-mouthing curry? No, we didn't say anything. Everyone's faces went totally white and they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just a teacher's ordinary stare. Is that so? Must have been the wind. Chie-sensei gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. I think we say Chie. I don't think it's Chie. Yeah, I think it's Chie. I may have been shouting, but for her to hear it from all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge, that teacher is terrifying. Kei-chan, you can disparage other food all you want, but you might want to stay away from curry. At least, as long as you live in Hinamizawa. Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I said, but still, I can't have curry for every meal. And cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you eat it for every meal, you'd get bored of it pretty quickly, and it's really not good because it has tons of salt, so it would be pretty bad for your health too, probably. Rice and miso soup and a good side dish. Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like. Why can't you just try to cook for yourself? Rice? You can make yourself is really good. Rice you can make yourself is really good. This old man thinks it's more pain than good. But experiencing it every once in a while might be nice. That's right! Life is all about experiences, right? But when you cut your finger or burn yourself, it's so sad. So very sad. With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried to. For approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I have to learn at some point, since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad. I'm pretty uneasy about it, but You're right. If I don't understand how to cook a few things around here, then I won't be in good shape the next time our club does a cooking showdown. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You are correct. That clever trick of yours in the last curry contest won't work every time after all. As if scorning me, Satoko ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in a certain do-or-die curry showdown. And what are you so relaxed for? You relied entirely on Rika-chan back then, didn't you? What did you cook at the time exactly? You put a bag of salt in Rina's curry, a bag of salt in Mion's rice, and you flipped over my pan. I relapsed into my grudge over the last curry showdown, exactly the same way than it happened on the episode 2, the way that they presented it here. For now, I calm my incredible anger by pinching Satoko's heels. Ow! My attack was because that's what they were doing for club. I may not look like it, but I can do a little bit of cooking. Can you now? Even when you couldn't peel one carrot during the showdown and had to get Rika to do it? Don't be so daft. People get better every day, you know. If you think I'll always be crummy at cooking, then you're quite mistaken. Right, Rika? I have to watch, or else I get worried about the pot and the flame. Sometimes you forget to turn the gas off too. Ugh. That is something scary, by the way. Do not be very careful with gas. It could be very dangerous. But yeah, obviously it's very dangerous to let the gas off because it could cause explosions. So do not take that lightly. Be very careful. Everyone burst into laughter. That shouldn't be an issue with cooking. Even I would never do that. I don't want to hear that from someone who eats nothing but cup ramen. But Satoko can cook pretty well for herself, you know. Rena, it's fine. You don't need to force yourself. You don't need to force yourself to cover up for her like that. No, she's not trying to cover for her or anything. It's just that Rika-chan's cooking is by far the best of all of us, so hers doesn't stand out. Satoko has mastered the basics too, right? At the very least, she can cook rice and miso soup. Well, she can quite tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli for... They're both the same anyway once you boil them. Satoko erupted into anger, making two fists and swinging them around her head, above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that. That's true, I didn't mention how the games play, but as you can see it's very straightforward, right? You just read text that goes one after another. You can see that I can show the imagery without the text if I want to. You can auto to make things go by itself. I'm gonna stop that. Oops. You can skip if you want to. There's a log here, text log, so that you can go back and read stuff that you may not have read properly, or if you want to reread something. The menu allows you to have multiple configs, one of them being actually the character sprite. You can have an updated version of a character sprite. I don't necessarily like them that much because I just like the original. I know that a lot of people hate the original. Well, some people hate the original. But for me, I really like it. I think that, you know, 07's expansion and Ryukishi 07's did a good job at depicting something that then can be reused very easily in other ways. So for example, thanks to that, the anime looks very special. And I think each character has its own real style, so So it's still a good job for me personally, and I don't know, I think it's more charming for some reason, because it's different. Anywho, let's continue. Wahaha! Gahahaha! The others don't matter. I cannot stand being laughed at by you, Keiichi-san. Gahahaha! Yes, perhaps I do lag behind everyone else in terms of cooking skill, but at least I'm confident I'll never lose to you, Satoko. Not to you, at least. What was that? You have a gall to say your confidence. That's what's daft here. I might not seem like a good cook, but I take turns with Rika, you know. I can cook just fine for myself, thank you. I see. Good for you for being able to cook. I'll buy some candy for you as a present later. I patted Satoko on the head while I made fun of her. Satoko seemed to know I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly and steam starting to pour out like she was a kettle. You don't believe me, do you? Anyway, I can cook far better than you can, Keiichi-san. I see. Then if you can tell me the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it. The green one is broccoli? Oh no, the yellow one. Cauliflower is red, blue, green. Well, I may say that to everyone. But yeah, broccoli is green and cauliflower generally is whitish, I guess. Golden, yellow, I don't know. For me it's more white than anything else, but yeah, they do. It's funny that we do that comparison here, because actually I still feel that when you do some cooking, broccoli and cauliflower can be interchanged and still seem somewhat similar, which is, well, at least for me, which is very interesting. So that's why it's a good way to introduce something that I found pretty funny here. Come on now, what color is broccoli? It's not red, blue, green like a television. Come on, say it. Satoko can cook just fine without knowing what color broccoli is, right? Good for you. Whoa! Stupid KK! Whoa! Oh, it was nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle. If you're going to act so smug, then you can surely show us something better than Satoko. Remarked giving me just a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking. But the situation carried me along, and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration. Just you wait. Tonight, I will make the best darn meal you've ever seen. I'll even make a little too much and pack it for lunch tomorrow. You'll be so surprised you'll fall over. That sounds like fun. I can't wait for lunchtime tomorrow. Rika-chan patted me on the head. Her words of "can't wait" sounded so transparent. Haha! Reina is excited too. I promise I won't laugh no matter what you make. Alright, so maybe I'll go all out on my bento tomorrow too. Then let's do it! Let's have a bento showdown tomorrow, as a club activity of course. And we'll throw in a punishment game too. my! What an ingenious idea that is! How is that, Keiichi-san? I'll give you one chance to back down. Satoko whipped her teeth and snarled at me, as if this was a chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad? I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty out of hand. Oh, if I apologize, now's my chance. But what came out of my Keiichi Maebara's mouth was a statement so reckless it even frightened me. Yeah, you won! My bento tomorrow will knock you right out of your shoes. Whoa! Everyone raised their voice in surprise at my bold confidence reply. Ah! Now I've done it. What have I done? I'm so responsible. So, Mion-san, what sort of fantastic punishment game we will have to play if we lose? Satoko grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game. Let's see. Okay, how about this? Whoever loses tomorrow's bento showdown during lunch break tomorrow has to go up to Shie-sensei as she's eating in the teacher's lounge and say bad things about curry. Me-chan! That's... How terrifying! Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was. Chie-sensei is such a maniac about curries that she'd risk her life for it. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika-chan spoke. Tomorrow's contest will be decided by skill. Rina and Mion and Satoko, everyone nodded deeply in agreement. Although Kei-chan's problem might be its own dinner tonight rather than tomorrow's bento. Ha! How disappointing that you can't witness what an amazing dinner I'm going to make tonight. I'll let you have a glimpse of it in my bento tomorrow, so look forward to it. That is quite a lot of grandstanding. You do know what will happen if you come to us with something terrible, right? I just can't wait. How much trouble you'll be with Chie-sensei tomorrow, Satoko? Yes, I can't wait either. To see you, Keiichi-san, groveling before her and begging for forgiveness. Saying it with off tears streaming down your face. Yes, I can just see it now. What was that? Yank. Ma! Stretch! Both of us on the verge of tears put on each other's cheek. Stretch! Ha ha ha! Trying to muster all your desperation by placing yourself in a predicament. Kei-chan, that's so manly. That isn't manly or anything of the sort. It is called being reckless. You can't even cook well. Scratch. Haha! Rena believes in you. I'm looking forward to your wonderful bento. I'm looking forward very much to seeing Keiichi's tomorrow as well. The expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Satoko a little. How did it come to this? Yeah. You'd better look forward to it. Ha 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 ha! How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so unreasonable. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? And the bento showdown tomorrow? No, more importantly, if you make me say bad thing about Kuri to Shie-sensei's face, what will happen to me? The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on. Alright, we're gonna stop here because it's been already more than 45 minutes and I'm starting to have my voice a little bit tired. Trying to do multiple voices, probably not the right way, but anyway. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that Tatarigoroshi was interesting to you, at least at the beginning, but usually the beginning is always like very simple slice of life, fun stuff, and then eventually it drags on something more stressful, let's say it this way. It's a real psychological thriller afterwards, or at least in episode 1 and 2 it was kind of that way. So I'm gonna leave you here. If you liked my show, if you liked us a show, please do not hesitate to follow my Facebook page or to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm probably gonna have some episodes about some other stuff. As I said, I did a game preview of Tell Me Why that I may have to redo, but who knows. I have a bunch of other game preview like Flight of the Amazon Queens that I created recently, or Super Mario RPG that should be already out by the time I actually do that Tatarigoroshi. And I hope that it pleases you. So please continue to watch and see you soon. Bye bye!